Welcome back, subscribers, and welcome new viewers. And I want to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed, who like and share my videos, because that helps my whole channel to circulate to more and more individuals who are in need of this information just like you. And today, I'm going to speak on Pluto. And this book is from Jeffrey Wolf Green, for any of you interested. And today I'm going to read for all of you who have transiting Pluto going through your 7th house. And I am taping today is October 16th, 2022. And Pluto is currently in Capricorn, 26 degrees. And for all of you who don't already know, my new book is now available. And so if that interests you and you are being called to wanting to know more about my book, and just send me an email and I will give you the particulars at thecreativewoman369@gmail.com. Okay, so Meaghan, I want to thank you for today's video, because without you, all the rest of the viewers now have the chance also to listen to Pluto going through their 7th houses as well. So thank you, Meaghan. All right, so Pluto through the 7th house. The archetype or theme during this evolutionary process reflects an essential need to transform, change, or evolve attitudes, values, needs, and approaches pertaining to close relationships or partnerships. As Pluto approaches the 7th house cusp, begins a transit to Venus, or Venus by progression aspects Pluto. A karmic time frame exists wherein the individual may re-experience others with whom there have been past life associations. This initial karmic time frame can also bring renewed connections with people from earlier relationships in this life. Occasionally, the fleeting Venus transit to Natal Pluto can also induce the situation for a few months. The specific kind of aspect which generally indicate the karmic basis of the contact. And the reason why he's speaking about Venus, Venus is the natural planet of the 7th house, and the natural zodiac sign of the 7th house is Libra. So Venus and Libra go together. The stressful aspects, and Venus also is with Taurus as well. So, but that's why he's speaking about Venus and the 7th house, because it's Venus and 7th house and Libra. Okay. The stressful aspects which tend to promote the need to deal with unresolved issues between the two people. The non-stressful aspects will tend to promote a situation wherein the individual draws others who have positive and timely information to bring to him or her at this time. In either case, these conditions reflect the fact that the individual desires and needs to move on, to change, grow, and evolve into new ways of being in a relationship. The need to change the past ways of relating, of redefining one's essential needs, is reflected in these conditions. The need to reevaluate draws these types of people into the individual's life. Those that promote confrontations due to unresolved issues induce the necessary awareness of past conditions that need to be resolved and changed. Those that bring timely messages reflect the same thing. The individual will be open to those people who bring these messages or who reflect what he or she is desiring to become. Conversely, the individual can manifest resistance to dealing with those who symbolize the past and embody old, unresolved issues. Because of the need to move on, all situations and people who represent the past will be perceived as being in the way of the new, the future. Thus, conflict promotes a resistance to dealing with the karmic factors implied in these contacts. Yet, they must be resolved because a new chapter or evolutionary cycle is unfolding in the individual's life. Oh, wow, okay. Yes, so however much you dislike having to deal with these people or situations from your past, they have to be and must be resolved before you can completely, once and for all, move forward. So it's a blessing in disguise. Wow. And so you listening, now knowing this, you can see it that way so that you can like be, I'm actually feeling like excited to start taking care of these things, or maybe bring that excitement in, or even if it's not excitement, it doesn't have to be excitement, but that resolve to knowing, okay, the quicker I take care of this, the quicker I can move on. So that's very beautiful, very beautiful. And of course, viewers, you didn't know this before. So, but now that you're listening, now you do, and now you can really, really take this power, because it's power of this transit to your benefit, and work through it as quickly and efficiently as you possibly can. From another point of view, the confrontations induced through such contacts will promote an experiential awareness of the new needs within the individual. The experiential confrontation thus allows for an alchemical metamorphosis to occur through which the new needs, attitudes, and approaches to relationships can evolve into consciousness. Each case that reflects these conditions is unique. The specific nature or karma of what is being resolved between the individual and the other will be found through cross-chart comparison. Correct, absolutely. So you can find out if that sounds right for you and you want to do that and can do that, or whenever you can do that or desire to. You can either do this on your own, or if you need assistance, you can come to me, or it doesn't have to be me, any astrologer of your choice that can take a look at your chart and the other person's chart that you are dealing with. If you have any questions if you don't already know what the need is, why that person's coming back into your life and what needs to be resolved. In my view, the individual should be encouraged to fulfill and resolve the issues so that the karma with others can be finally eliminated once and for all. Because also, once they're eliminated, you're not going to ever have to go through any types of experiences like that again with whatever that was, with whatever you went through with that person. And so, again, of course, you need to find out, and maybe if you, again, it's coming up again, and the person's coming back again because maybe you don't realize what you needed to gain from that experience, what you needed to take care of, and so it's unresolved. And again, some of you might know, but those of you that don't, well, and if you knew also, it just wasn't taken care of, it wasn't completed in some way. Maybe some of you might have even thought you completed it, but if it's coming back around again, there's something else that wasn't completed, wasn't taken care of. But now is the time that you will be able to do this, and once and for all. I recommend a psychological strategy wherein the individual resists the temptation to react instinctively in a confrontational way to those embodying the karmic past. Of course. And now you have the facts, you have the conscious awareness now why these things are happening where you hadn't before. So you are armed with those facts and know how to handle it in a more efficient way for both, not just you, but for the other or others involved. So that is tremendous. The key is to develop an attitude of considered response, to view the situation in a dispassionate and reflective way. Of course, as best as you're not, no one can do it perfectly. So don't beat yourself up if it's not done perfectly by any means. That's part of what you're learning. The individual can thus become aware of all the issues that have led to and created the situation, and can respond in appropriate and karmically necessary ways to resolve those issues. In some cases, this process can also bring into light old unresolved issues between the individual and an existing partner. These issues may have been repressed earlier in the relationship, or they may resurface as unresolved problems from other lifetimes. How amazing is that? These problems or issues can produce confrontations between the individual and the partner. In these cases, the need is not only to deal with these issues as they occur, but also to allow the existing relationship to change, grow, evolve, and redefine itself to reflect the new needs of each partner. The same strategy of considered response should be encouraged so that the necessary evolutionary metamorphosis can occur along positive lines. Of course, absolutely. And we all realize that that isn't always possible because the other person might not be ready to move forward in that same direction or move forward at all. It's just all of you are going to be in certain different circumstances with the different individuals that you come in contact with. In some cases, this process will lead to the termination of existing partnerships if they cannot be redefined because of compulsive resistance to the new evolutionary demands. So now you know why that's happening for some of you. And so you can more easily just let it be and let that go. One individual may perceive the other as being in the way of future needs. This can be the individual himself or herself, or the partner with whom he or she is involved. The other will perceive the individual who is demanding change as undermining and threatening existing emotional security. Well, that's true, yes. So if this sentence, if that rings true for you, well, that is true. You are, because you are changing. You are now ready and exposing for yourself, first and foremost, what wasn't able to be exposed before, what was still hidden within that relationship that you're having with this other party. But now you are, because of transiting Pluto, it must change for you specifically. And of course, we always hope that the other party, that they will be open to this change, because you never want to lose friendships, you never want to lose family members or close partnerships. But unfortunately, in certain situations, those of us that happens to, which it did happen to me too, I realized I was being driven to move forward anyway, regardless. And that is what I had to do. And yes, it's very, very painful and heartbreaking, but yet this is what your soul is calling for to do, so that you can be and reach your highest and very best potential for yourself, first and foremost, so that you can assist others. Whatever role or position the individual finds him or herself in, growth will occur, even though these experiences can be very intense and difficult. Occasionally, these evolutionary processes will correlate to the death of a spouse or someone close to the individual. And I am so sorry for all of you who that has ever happened to, or is happening to, or will happen to. I am so sorry. The non-stressful aspects will also stimulate growth. I am being called to tell you, viewer, that in fact my father passed away for me during this time period. Okay. The non-stressful aspects will also stimulate growth. The main difference is that the individual and those that he or she is dealing with in these necessary ways will commonly understand the reasons for the experiences. With stressful aspects, the understanding occurs after the fact. The results, however, can be the same. In whatever way this evolutionary process is experienced, the need is the same: to eliminate or change past patterns of relating to others, and to allow the new essential needs to surface into the consciousness. New ways of relating to others, new personal and social values, and new ways of relating to oneself will unfold at this time as a result. It is not uncommon for new people to manifest the individual's life at this time. It is not uncommon for new people to manifest in the individual's life at this time. These new people will generally be very powerful and intense, and will tend to have a hypnotic and compelling effect on the individual, because they will symbolize his or her new needs. Others can now perceive the individual in this light as well. As this process begins, these needs will not be well formulated in the minds of the individual or those that are attracted to the individual. Thus, the individual or another that the individual is attracted to symbolizes or embodies that which each subconsciously desires to become. Of course, if the individual or the other is in an existing primary relationship, this situation promotes its own kind of conflict and confrontation. The choices that are made regarding what to do about these attractions are critically important from a karmic point of view. When this situation is encountered, I would recommend the following strategies. 1. If the individual or another who is attracted to the individual senses that the existing relationship has simply run its required course, that there is no more growth or usefulness in it for either partner, it is important to be totally open and honest about the new attraction. The existing relationship should be ended before involvement with another begins. And of course, these are under the very best circumstances, and this is only if you consciously know and are aware of what's going on with Pluto transiting your 7th house beforehand. So please, no guilt. Do not feel bad if this happened to you. Whatever choice that I will be reading, if it's already happened for you, don't feel bad, because you were driven to do it and you didn't know. You just did not know. So let me see what time it is. Okay, we still have a lot of time. I just want to make sure the video does not cut off before I am choosing to close this reading. Okay, so the existing relationship should be ended before the involvement with another begins. Partners in the old relationship should spend whatever time is necessary to resolve the issues or conditions that led to the parting, to reflect together upon the entire nature and experience of the relationship so that it can be concluded in a positive way. Again, this is the very most positive and best extreme and choice to do if you can. Reflecting together can bring maximum knowledge to both partners about the nature of themselves and the relationship, and also can promote an ending with a minimum of hard feelings. The point is that this process can symbolize the fulfillment of an existing relationship that has run its natural course for this life. And absolutely, that is what naturally, if we all had conscious awareness and astrology for a long, long time, could do. And this is where my reasoning for even starting this channel, so that we can maybe one day the world can be this way, and we automatically, and there's no ending to a relationship actually, because then you will know what you were together for, and once you've learned that, then you can both move forward, whether that is separately on your individual paths, but you're not breaking the friendship. You will always, both of you will know how essential you were to each other, and you will be both thankful for the friendship and continued bond that you will carry for the rest of your lives with those people. So to me, I have a totally different perspective and view, and I just was drawn to take a look at the page number that I'm on, and it's 333. 333. So that could be significant for someone, because I was being called to look at that and say that, for those of you who pay attention to signs and synchronicities. Wow. Okay. Number 2, if the individual or the other who is attracted to the individual senses limitation in the existing relationship because of the way that it has been defined, and yet also senses that it can change, then the person should spend the necessary amount of time working toward that end. New attractions to another or of another toward the individual simply represent a sign to the person that something is amiss within the existing relationship. This sign should be interpreted as a need to confront whatever problems exist so that the necessary metamorphosis can occur. If time is spent working toward this end and has produced nominal or no change, then the individual is karmically free to move on. The resistance of the partner now determines the course of action for the individual. So you have no choice but to move forward. The resulting emotional blow to the partner can perhaps induce a subsequent growth process for that person. And for some of you, maybe your partner did the moving on, which then jolted you into digging and this painful, heartbreaking situation for you to take so that you can become consciously aware. In general, the key to working positively with this process is to be as open as possible to the new needs of the partner, and for the partner to be as open to the new needs of the individual. It is a time for change and growth and will require that each person listen to the other in order to identify reality as it exists for each. In this way, each can give to the other what is needed according to their reality. If the partner or the individual experiences restrictions of growth in the relationship, then confrontations can occur and the relationship may end if one or both of the individuals are defensive or closed to the new needs of the other. Physical problems that can arise during this evolutionary process will manifest themselves in the lower back, the kidneys, spine, toxicity of the blood, intense headaches, hearing problems, urinary tract infections, congestion in the liver, and problems related to the heart chakra. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. And if any of you would like a written copy, please send me an email at thecreativewoman369@gmail.com. I love to hear from you. Any questions, comments? And again, that's all I have for you. And until next time.